Hi, I'm Karen McCarthy and it's time to Karen-ize. Today I'm going to be working on some St. Patrick's Day designs, so I thought I'd put this down before I forget. So I have this sign, wood plaque, whatever you want to call it, from Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using that. I found this box of charms from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I'm going to paint some of those. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or not. And then I'm going to make a St. Patrick's Day mushroom gnome. And one more thing, I'm taking this actually came in my Michaels box, so it has She Who Dares Wins on one side, and then I'm going to use the other side and put something St. Patrick's Day on it. So I'm going to start with this because I'm just going to paint it real quick and then let it dry while we go through the rest. Okay, I decided to paint it off camera. There's no sense you watching me paint. So I did 2 quick coats of green. Oh, I just got some on my hand and I don't want to get it on a project. So let me grab a wet wipe and get that off my hand. So I think what I'm going to do next, I don't know if you can see, let me move this. I painted all of those little charms green. Just real quick coat. I'm going to do the little mushroom gnome first. Now all of these projects are very quick projects. None of them take very long. I mean, the longest is to wait for the paint to dry. So, all right, so I have my mushroom gnome from Dollar Tree. Let me take the tag off real quick. Most of it anyway. And I have a piece of faux fur. I have, my nose rolled off somewhere. Oh dear. I just got green on here. Let me get that off real quick because that's not what I want there. Didn't realize I had some on the back. Not gonna matter if there's a little bit of green there because I am going to do something there. My nose rolled somewhere, so let me grab another nose real quick. Had everything here, but I'm famous for not moving and losing something. So let me put that right there in those scissors. Okay, first I'm going to get the faux fur ready. I just cut it with some scissors. I like to do, what do you call it, X-Acto knives a little bit better, but mine is a little bit dull and I didn't want to mess with changing it. So let me show you if you've not seen this before. I got paint all over my scissors. If you're cutting with scissors, you don't want to go like this where you're going through everything. You're going to go just under that mesh or fabric backing, and I'm just going to even this up a little bit and show you. So you're just going to clip. If you go like that, you're going to cut all that fringy part off and you're going to have just a blunt cut, which is not really what we want for the gnomes. So then I just pull it and I still have all that fringe. Okay, but what happens is they shed. So I'm going to just comb out all the loose stuff. Make it look really nice. All right, so I'm going to just start by making sure that you're in frame by just putting a little bit of glue there. I'm going to just make just a little hem just so that there's a nice finished edge, just in case if it's up on a shelf or something high, you might be able to see that unfinished edge. So just in case. And I see, oh, pardon the noise. I think my stepson and his friend are here, so the dog's going crazy. All right, and then I'm going to, goodness, maybe I'm going to have to shut the video off until they get calmed down. Then I'm just going to glue this right up under that mushroom cap. Jude, hush. Yuki, hush. He's trying to hush. Okay. Then before I lose that nose, I'm just going to glue that on. Whoops, need some more glue. Get a little bit of hot glue there so it'll stick and not fly out of my glue gun. Woo! Didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess I didn't get enough because it flew right out of my glue gun. So we'll use this. Okay, Get some glue on there. These mushroom gnomes, I've got a big string of fur. They are so popular. When I make some to sell, they go right away. So I'm just gonna go right in the middle of the beard and just glue that right up under the cap. Get something to clean that off of my glue gun. The one thing about the gnomes, you get a furry mess. All right, and then I have just some shamrock leaves from a floral pick that was for shamrocks. I'm gonna cut off that stuff that sticks out in the back so it'll lay flat, and just glue that onto the side of the hat. And you can embellish, of course, with whatever you want. I've got these little white flowers. Again, I'm gonna just cut that piece off the back so it sits flat. And glue the flower on. Oh, let's get it there. It's not wanting to go on there. All right, I'll hold it till it cools off a little bit. And that's all it takes to make one of these little mushroom gnomes. Now you can do I've seen people do a whole lot of other things. In fact, I've seen some add little feet. And I did order a silicone mold for little feet. So I might add feet to him later. You never know. All right, so he is out. Got fingernail or glue on my fingernails. So I'm gonna bring this over. And what I'm going to do is this is a self-sticking silk screen transfer from Chalk Couture. Not sure if this one is still available if you go onto their site, because I got it quite a while ago. And then I've got some chalk paste. This is called Shimmer Spruce. If you've never used this stuff before, it's cool. I love the self-sticking silk screen transfers. You can get all kinds of dimension in them. Let me show you on this one. This is my favorite one because I love buffalo plaid. Look at all the dimension that you can get in that you can't get with regular stencils. So really fun. Okay, and I am just going to do just one of these. God, you look at it just right and it starts blurring. I'm just going to do one set of these around the edge. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to just fuzz it on my pant leg, and that's just to get a little lint on it so it doesn't pull up any paint, or so it doesn't stick to the surface too much. We like it to be self-sticking and real sticky so that we can use it over and over, but when you're using it on a project, you don't necessarily want all that stickiness, if that makes sense. Okay, so then I'm going to put that right at the edge. Yeah, if I can. My fingers keep pulling it up. And then I'm just going to smooth it down, get all the air bubbles out, make sure that it's sticking to that surface really nicely. I may have trouble with this buffalo plaid because I have used it so many times. Sometimes I have to hold it down. All right, then I'm just going to grab some of my chalk paste on here and then just work it through until I don't see any of the white from the surface showing through. When I get done, I just take this over to the sink, and we have what's called board erasers. They're like Mr. Clean magic markers, but without all the chemicals. But you can use a sponge. Sometimes I just use my hand, and I just get all that chalk paste off, turn it over, and clean the other side, just in case there's chalk paste, and also to get that lint off, and let it dry, sticky side up, and then it's ready to go again another time. All right, so I'm going to do these. Whoops, it keeps popping off. I'm going to do the two ends first, and then I've got to let it dry. I'm going to use this to smooth it down. Since there is chalk paste there, I don't want to get it all over my hands. Okay, well, I'll let it dry, and then I will do the other sides because I'm going to have this going all the way around. This is why my craft room is a mess half the time, because I have 3 different projects going on at once, waiting for things to dry. Good thing I have a couple of tables in here. All right. So now I'm just going to hang this on the edge of my table and put it over here to dry. That is not dry yet. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get my, what I'm going to do in the middle here is decoupage. I found these really cute pictures online and I'm going to decoupage that. So what I want to do first is I'm going to dip my paintbrush into some water. When you're decoupaging, this is, I printed it on tissue paper, by the way. When you're decoupaging, you want to have not a straight edge, so you don't really want to cut it with scissors because it will show. But if I, whoops, I almost stuck it in my chalk paste. If I use my paintbrush and just have kind of a jaggedy edge, it's camouflaged by the decoupage. I may have to do a little bit more. It looks like because this is green here, it's going to maybe stain it a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. And then I'm just going to hold on to the part that I want to save, and I'm just going to tear the rest of it away. I might not even care about that. We'll see. Yeah, there's too much left. So just get all of that color off the edge. It might have been kind of cool to have that, but it wasn't on it consistently, so I'm just going to sorry, I've got gnome fluff flying up into my nose. Uh-oh, that went way up in there, so I'm gonna have to be kind of careful when I tear that off because I don't want my pot of gold to leave. I have a feeling this one will show a little bit when I do the decoupage, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Whoops. I probably should have cut off that green border before I did this. I wasn't thinking about it bleeding the color into the tissue paper. Whoop, now it got on the words. I'm gonna have to be careful there. Sorry, I get silent when I'm doing a tricky part. It's not super tricky, but just oh, got it all over my fingers. All right, yeah, we're gonna still have a little bit, but you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. So I might, if I do the decoupage, I'll just decoupage the little picture on, but I won't do the decoupage over the top until I get this done, and then I'll just decoupage over the whole thing. All right, let me just get a brush. Put some decoupage in the middle. It's a little rough right there where I think that's where the tag was and I couldn't get it off. And I could have sanded it, but I'm gonna put that tissue paper thing right over the top so I don't think it'll even be an issue. So I'm gonna put that right in the middle. I am going to grab, let's see what I've got in here. Just got a piece of cellophane that was on something. I used that rather than my fingers to put it on there because our fingers tend to stick on it, and especially when it's something as delicate as this tissue paper, I don't want to rip it. All right, I'm gonna put just a little bit around the edges because it's not sticking real well. And then later on, after I've got everything else on here, I am going to put decoupage over the whole thing. But just for right now, so that it doesn't curl up, we'll just do the edges real quick. I love decoupage. I do decoupage on, like I save all my glass jars, like pickles and spaghetti sauce and stuff. And I'll decoupage a really cool napkin on it and then fill it with flowers or candy or something and give it to a friend for a gift. And I just love doing that. Okay, so that's the start. Is this dry? It is. So let me put this away. And I am going to go to a different, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful not to let that other side go all the way down because of the decoupage, but I don't want to stop the tape and start again. So I'm just going to hold that up, make sure everything is down nice. And whoops, I went over this part that I'd already done, so I might have kind of goofed that up. I wasn't thinking, because I want to go right to the edge of that. But I think I may be putting one of those charms in a corner, so that's going to be the corner that I do it in. All right, let's just go right to the edge there. Need to get a little bit more. Okay. Oh, no, it didn't mess it up bad. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. Hold on, let's see, where am I going to put that? Okay. Just don't want to go where the decoupage was. So let's smooth that down. Go right to the edge. This the silkscreen transfers, you can get them from Chalkateur, you can get them from Magnolia Design, Maker Studio. I've seen them all kinds of places. I haven't tried all the different brands yet, but those are the three that I like the best. Okay. So we're going to let that dry, and then we'll go back and do some finishing touches. I had some other pictures. I don't want to ruin them. There were 4 little pictures. There's that little guy, and this one, and then like a little, I don't know if you can see it. I can't see my phone well enough. There we go. And I may be using them for something else. Who knows? Okay, now normally, I will say, normally I let this dry overnight, and it hasn't dried overnight. I don't think this has much sticky on it anymore, so I'm not as worried as I normally would be that it's going to pull up the paint. But normally I would recommend letting the paint dry for several hours so that it's so totally dry and cured. So what I'm going to do is put a little buffalo plaid on just the hearts. So I'm just going to put that there. And I have white chalk paste to do that with. Now this is not a shimmer, and so you can see the consistency. I'm going to stir it up. We just want to get any air bubbles out. I don't have to worry too much with the shimmers for that, but with regular chalk paste, I just stir it up. Should be the consistency of cake batter, yogurt, something like that. It's chalk rather than paint, so it will try to dehydrate, and you can just add some distilled water and mix it up. And I mean, I've had some that were totally solid, and I was able to revive them. Let's put that over here. And now I'm looking for my other squeegee. There we go. God, it's probably by the nose, right? Okay, I want to make sure that I just stay on these raised hearts. So I'm just going to go kind of slowly around the edge there first. See where it is. And just work that through till I don't see the green anymore. I may be getting a little bit on the background, and I can fix that when I pull it up. We'll just see. It's a little harder to see the heart shape. I'm gonna make sure I'm getting it all the way to the edge. And then I just wipe off any extra, put it right back into the jar. Got a little bit on my hand, so let's get that off before I get it somewhere. I didn't get very much on the side. Let me just wipe that. Whoop, just dropped my transfer. I'm gonna wipe that up real quick before it dries. And look at all the distressing. I mean, that is supposed to be there. That's the kind of look that you can get with the silkscreen transfers. It's really cool. Whoops. All right. Let me stick that to the desk better. Okay, I'm gonna try to just line that up, and then I will know exactly where the heart is. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going, so my hand probably looks fluttery on the camera. I forget which direction I have to go to get what I'm getting. Okay, put that on there nice. I love this because, I mean, it looks like you are so talented. And I mean, when I was running a youth center, I had 4- and 5-year-olds doing this. So, and there's several different techniques you can do to get some really cool looks, but we're just going with the basic technique for this. One more. It looks like the stencil might be just a little bit clogged. So I'm gonna just take this over to sink, wash it, let it dry, and I'll finish this off camera, and then I'll show you and decide if we wanna do any embellishments afterwards. Okay, while we're waiting for that to dry, we will just put a nice coat of decoupage over everything on this. Whoops, what do we have here? I think it was a hot glue string. If you have any tricks for hot glue strings, let me know. I know the twirl at the end can really reduce them, but I still seem to have strings all over the place. Whoops. Now there is a piece of fur floating around that just got on there. Come on. Let's see if we can get it off. Come on, come on. Nope. There we go. So if you haven't used Mod Podge, it goes on, looks white, but it dries clear. So everything is going to just be clear. All right, I'll put this up. Got Mod Podge on my hand. When you were a kid, did you make fake fingernails out of glue? That's what this reminds me when it gets on me. We used to make fake fingernails out of glue. I think we were so exotic and elegant with our glue fingernails on. I don't know if kids still do that, but I'm pretty sure they probably do. Okay, I'm going to make, I have this really cute ribbon that came in one of my Michael's grab bags, I think. I'm pretty sure that's where I got it. And I'm going to make a ribbon to go on here. So let me see. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just measuring to see how big I want the ribbon. I want it about like that. So I'm just going to, whoops, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to just, yeah, maybe I was doing it right. Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna loop it around. I don't want a humongous one, but I thought this ribbon was so stinking cute. So that's gonna give me three loops and 2 loops. I think I'm not real good at making ribbons. I will admit that to you. In fact, I can't remember if I ordered a bow maker or if it's on my birthday wish list for my husband. Oh, look what I found. It was in the ribbon. Okay. I'm going to find the middle and just make a little slit. That went a little bit too far, but little slit on either side. And then take a zip tie. I'm all thumbs again, guys. I don't know what's going on with my hands lately. Okay, just gonna pull that right in the middle. Pull it tight. Okay, get off the extra. And then I'm just going to fluff out my bow. And people who are good at making bows, they make it look so easy. We'll see. I don't do a real good job. Okay, now this one is, nope, it's a, I thought it was my tail. All right, flip those out. There's a tail, so I'm gonna just flip that down. Oh, both of the tails ended up on the same side, and I still think so I have 4 on this side and 3 on this side. So it's not gonna be perfect, but like I said, if you've watched my videos before, I try to follow, I believe it's the Navajo tradition that errors in projects keep out the evil spirits. We're just gonna go with that, right? Come on. It's sticking together. Well, let's try it this way. There we go. I didn't want to fluff. Okay. Now, if I fluff it just right, you're not going to tell that they're uneven. And you know what? I think I'm just going to cut these tails off because they are not even themselves. There's the other one. And I just don't want them interfering. So if you want good bow making videos, don't come to my site. I'm not very good. It works, and it works okay. Okay, now I'm going to, this is, my goodness, why am I not able to get in? This is wired ribbon, so I'm just kind of going to bunch it up, I guess you'd say. Just give it a little bit more oomph. All right, I don't know if this is dry. Yeah, okay. Oh, I was like, why is that making a sound? It was sitting on microgreen seeds. I was a little bit freaked out for a minute. So that's just gonna go right here, and I think that's gonna be a good size. So I'm gonna take one of these pieces that I almost couldn't find. No, I'm going to cut a little bit longer one. Just to cover up the zip tie and make the center look a little bit better, I am just going to scrunch this and glue it right on top. Just kind of scrunch it up a little bit. And flip it over and bring those edges in, and then that makes a nice finished look in the center. I'm trying to do it without getting glue all over my fingernails. So if my fingers look kind of weird, it's because I'm trying to keep them out of the glue. All right, a little bit more on this side. I'm glad the camera isn't on my face because I think I probably do that thing like little kids do and put my tongue out in the corner of my mouth while I'm focused. All right, let's scrunch that in a little bit more. Whoops. Oh, I see what that is. Okay. Bring these out a little bit. I love using buttons, and I have some green buttons sitting here. I'm trying to make that look. I don't do the final messing with the bow until it's on the thing itself. Let's see. Get that glue off. I think that button kind of almost matches their hats. It's kind of a green and black. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry if you couldn't. I can't, there's such a glare, I can't really see what's on my phone screen, so I couldn't tell if it was showing or not. All right, we'll let that dry really well. And then I will be back to do the finishing touches. Okay, everything is dry, so I will add everything. I didn't like having an extra loop on one side, so I'm just tucking it in. I'm just gonna put some glue, hot glue. I'm gonna glue it right here. So I'm gonna put a nice dollop of hot glue so that it will glue on really well. Just let that sit for a little bit. I couldn't just throw away those little pieces of ribbon, so I cut off the little leprechauns. I'm going to put one down here on the stem. Thought about maybe putting some in here, but I think I like it just on the stem better. Okay, is that going to stay? Yes. So let's see. Since I've got two of the ones with the little lucky horseshoe, I'm just going to put one of those on. Just put a little bit of hot glue and put him right there. And then I saved the string someplace. Here it is. So I always take it out to paint it and then stick it back in. They come in and out real easily. And then he's done. So really what took the longest on this was waiting for paint to dry. And there you've got a cute little, you could use it on your door. You could hang it in your house, whatever. Very cute. So then this one, definitely, if I were doing this again, if I were doing it to sell, I would not sell this one. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. It didn't turn out quite the way I like, and I don't know if you see, I don't know what happened there. I really can't tell what happened there. But it's going to be back, and I don't think it'll be an issue. It'll be like at the back of a shelf. So I'm going to take one of these. I like these little shamrocks that were in that box because they have that little heart cut out. Whoops, am I down below the camera? Can you see it, the little heart cut out? So I'm just going to put that up in a corner. I tend to make things pretty simple. Sometimes I put more embellishments on than others. But for things like this, I'm making it pretty simple. And there, that is done. And then if I want to, I could flip that over and, whoops, and put it that way and have a double-sided project. So is that everything? Seems like, oh, and then we did the mushroom gnome. So I guess that's everything. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with some springtime projects and Easter projects.